Yo.
Hey everybody.
What's up? They can't talk back. But what's up?
Not too much, man. I'm doing alright. Thanks for asking, though, all of you out there. I'm Raf, and you may know
Danny.
Bam.
This is Southern California Comics Weekly Video Update.
Yep, we're here.
Matt's not here.
Matt's not here.
What are you here to do?
I'm here to take his place. This is essentially a backdoor audition for the role of Matthew Rios, since the current Matthew Rios is having some trouble with his contract negotiations. So if and when they don't go through, you'll be seeing more of me.
You know, we paid him in Monopoly money for a really long time, and it worked. Now it didn't.
He had to have the blindest bank teller because that balance of his kept escalating. Shout outs to blind people, I guess.
Yeah, they can hear this.
Yeah, most definitely. But you deaf people can. Yeah. All right.
I don't know if... I think YouTube does captioning. You might be able to read us.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. We're in trouble.
Cover up like this. Let's do the whole podcast like this.
Alright, so comics came out this week. We're going to talk about them, whether we like them or not.
Yes.
But if they're notable, we're going to talk about them.
We are.
Go.
Okay. My name is Go. First one that we have is Vampire Diaries #1, published by DC Comics. It's a tie-in to the popular CW show. A lot of acronyms going on here.
DC, CW.
Yeah.
It's like they're in the same company or something.
ESRB. Yeah, it's yeah, you're right. It's like the same company. Definitely, if you watch Lost, you would know who Ian Somerhalder is. And it is a comic book. It was written by,
Colleen Doran.
Thank you, Colleen Doran and Tony Chastain.
Yeah, people of note. They got people of note to do this. So.
Yeah, they did.
It's not just any old piece of garbage they plopped out.
Yeah, it's probably going to be pretty legit. And if you wanted the poster for Infamous Second Son, I got you.
Yeah, just cut out the back cover, put it on your wall.
There it is. And read the book. Read the book. Danny?
Yeah. A lot of new #1s this week.
Yeah, most definitely.
New #1. All new X Factor #1. So we thought X Factor was getting canceled forever and ever because it's been around for 100 years, and Peter David isn't going to be around forever. But yeah, they're bringing it back another go round.
Who's on it?
Peter David, of course. Art by Carmine Di Giandomenico.
Ooh, I like that guy.
Who's Italian and has kind of an anime style.
I like him. He did some fill-ins, some of the arcs on Iron Man 2.0, which should have lasted a lot longer than it did.
He's a quick artist, so you know that like there aren't going to be too many fill-ins unless they want them.
Right.
Yeah. X Factor. If you like X Factor, it's here. If you weren't interested in X Factor, here's a new #1.
Check it out, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. X books are popular.
Right. And tagging in on another #1, we have Black Widow #1, brought to you by Nathan Edmondson and Phil Noto. You know, people tend to like the character. I could go either way on Black Widow, but honestly, Phil Noto is a fantastic artist. Just about everything he does. He did a great book with Jerry Conway. Is that his name? No. Help me out here.
Which book?
Infinite Horizon.
Oh, I don't remember who did that.
Sorry about that, Jerry. But anyway, yes, we have Nathan Edmondson, who wrote the fantastic Who is Jake Ellis and Where is Jake Ellis? So if you're a fan of espionage, if you're a fan of women being badass, it's got fantastic art. Nathan Edmondson is a good plotter. Probably a bit of a slow burner, but the kind of thing that you'll be glad you picked up in single issues because you'll just reread it again and it'll be great. Nathan Edmondson, he writes in that TV style, but does a fantastic job. Lots of twists and ties, lots of fighting, lots of action. Check it out.
Alright, some of you may remember Bob Fingerman's Minimum Wage. I don't, but it's back.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Well, you think they'd have raised it at this point.
Yeah, right?
I mean, the last time minimum wage came out, it probably cost the minimum wage.
Well, I'm sure when minimum wage originally came out, it was not $3.50, so they kind of raised it.
Hey, if I'm on unemployment and I buy this, do I only get 40% of the comic?
I think you should spend your money in better ways than buying minimum wage. But if you're on unemployment, that is. Yeah. If you have money to spare, you should buy this because it's like a indie slice of life kind of thing from Image Comics. They just came out with a collection of his older work, Maximum Minimum Wage, like a few months ago.
Yeah, if you're on minimum wage or if you're on welfare, buy Jordans. Those are a good investment.
Yeah, they never go down in price.
Not ever.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that don't go down in price, comic books. This week we have Federal Bureau of Physics #7. FBP by Simon Oliver and Robbie Rodriguez. It's been an interesting series. It's got a really good sci-fi slant. It's got a lot of great ideas. Robbie Rodriguez got a very kinetic art style. If you're interested in physics or science at all, I'd highly recommend it because it asks these kinds of questions. Like for example, the first issue deals with a school where gravity is gone. Like the idea, everybody's floating in the roof, and then you have all these crises, and you have to figure out how to solve physics emergencies. It used to be called Collider. It's pretty good, beautiful. It's got that neon pop art that I like so very much. So
it's a great looking comic.
It's a definitely great looking comic. Simon Oliver's got a lot of good ideas. Check it out. These covers alone are usually worth the cover price. So check it out.
All right, for me, well, not for me, for Marvel, but I'm gonna talk about it. The words are coming from me. Marvel Now, .1, number 1, which is confusing, but it's the latest, like, kind of anthology jumping off point in Marvel Comics history. Yeah, so if you're interested in the Marvel comics that are about to come out, like a new Silver Surfer, new Ms. Marvel, some other things, new Loki book, this is where everything jumps off.
It's a good place to get involved.
$6, like it's a little larger than the normal comic.
It's a nice sampler, right?
Yeah,
it's like ordering a Rudy Tutti Fresh and Fruity.
And they're all original stories. It's not like a 5-page preview or anything stupid like that.
Oh, nice. That's even better.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. Well, check that out. And I'm sure you are all waiting for the monthly recommendation of Sex Criminals by Chip Applebee's and Matt Fraction. I love you, Zdarsky. As usual, probably the best thing on the shelves right now. Fraction and Zdarsky are absolutely crushing it in the comics game.
It's hilarious.
Hilarious. It's poignant. It's got a lot of heart. It truly is. I mean, it transcends the medium. Like, and it's fun to. It's really just absolute uninhibited creativity, and they talk about sex a lot in the back. So if you're into that sort of thing, which you should be if you're listening to this, check. I'm not gonna tell you to check it out. Go read it.
Buy it.
Buy it. Buy it twice. Get your nipple pierced. Go to Applebee's.
Yeah, go crazy.
Yeah, order something for Chip Zdarsky. Remember, he's been sober 13 years, so don't order a drink.
So, Shaolin Cowboy number 4 is out. It is I think it's the final issue in the series.
Man, that book. That Jeff Darrow, though.
It's crazy. He's still fighting zombies, and this concludes it. He fights every zombie possible.
God bless America.
Like, it's so good. Like, it's just pure comics. It's Jeff Darrow tearing it up, just doing his thing. Like, it is the antidote to every Brian Michael Bendis comic ever published.
Shape road.
Like, yeah, if you're tired of comics where people just talk for 20 pages, how about one where they just fight for like 40 pages?
Yeah, it's that effectively the comics version of that scene from Old Boy taken to the extreme.
Yeah, and the hilarious thing is that I felt kind of like I was being trolled at the end.
Okay.
That Jeff Darrow just did the new Shaolin Cowboy to be like, stop asking me about Shaolin Cowboy. Now you can't have any more of it.
That sounds like
it's
him.
Over.
I wouldn't be surprised. But it's a good co-rec from Danny and I. Big fans of Jeff Darrow.
Yeah,
big fans of Dark Horse.
It's the realness. Check it out.
Definitely. If
you like zombies, if you like kicking, if you like cowboys, if you like Shaolin.
If you just like seeing things get hurt.
It's all there.
Most definitely.
Yeah, it's super violent.
And speaking of things that are going to get hurt, I think that does it for us today?
No, we have one more segment.
We do.
We always have one more segment, Raf.
I apologize. You guys are the ones who got hurt by my mistake.
Yeah, we almost had you go in there for a minute. All right, next thing. Next thing is that way. Go that way. Just keep going that way. Keep going that way. I'll meet you there eventually.
Here?
Yeah.
Hey guys, my name's Raf. I'm the occasional co-host when Matt is on strike. I'm here to talk to you a little bit more about some of my favorite comics. I decided to go on both sides of the gamut, classics and something a little more modern. We'll start with one I'm sure won't need any introduction, a name Frank Miller. So the first one I picked out to recommend is Frank Miller's Daredevil. Specifically, this is volume 2, pretty readily available. It just starts back in print. This collects the Elektra saga, which is probably the most famous of the Daredevil runs. It's where it all started. It's where Daredevil became the prototype for the gritty 80s action movie. I mean, Miller took influences from samurai films, from westerns, as well as superheroes, basically giving the man without fear a conscience. And the greatest thing Frank Miller ever did for comics was give Daredevil Catholic guilt, because this story covers the gamut. It has absolutely everything that has become the prototype for Daredevil. It has a somewhat sympathetic Bullseye. It has plenty of violence and wall scaling, fist fighting, and an overarching narrative. Truly, I mean, I don't have to tell you that's one of the greatest runs in comics. I mean, anybody who reads comics will tell you that. But the point of the matter is, there are still people who haven't read it. I read it as a kid. I read it as an adult. Hasn't lost a step. In fact, it's even gained some steam. So I'd recommend checking it out. you know, the antithesis to is Mark Waid's Daredevil. Either way, Daredevil is one of my favorite characters, and this is one of the more seminal stories. Effectively, his version of Man of Steel, if you will. The John Byrne book, not the awesome movie. I don't want to debate it with you guys. Okay, second one, more current and newer release is Stumptown, Volume 2. This is by Greg Rucka with art by Matthew Southworth, published by Oni Press. This is called The Case of the Baby in the Velvet Case. The first Stumptown was sold to me as Veronica Mars meets the Rockford Files, which is what I wanted to, effectively is what I'm hoping is the DNA of my firstborn daughter. It's a great series, strong female lead, which is Greg Rucka's specialty. But really, if you're into mysteries, if you're into any kind of intrigue whatsoever, tightly plotted, fantastic Matthew Southworth art. Colors are great by Lee Luffridge. It's like a good episode of Sherlock. With a lot more punching and a lot less homoeroticism. More importantly, it has the 4th issue, which has the best car chase I've ever seen in comics, which are notoriously difficult to do. And I won't give anything away because it just has to be read to be believed. So check it out. It just came out in hardcover collected. It is absolutely worth your time and your money. It is something special. Speaking of something special,
I want to talk about the Punisher Armory.
I would love to talk about the Punisher Armory too, please.
This is a comic where the Punisher just talks about every gun he owns.
Yes, he does.
Every weapon he has. Complete with, like, way too much narration describing everything. It's like a catalog.
It's pretty amazing. It's like an LL Bean with bullets. It's kind of wonderful.
LL bullets.
But not only that, it has a wonderful emotional twist at the end when he talks about the most important gun of all in the Punisher's Armory.
Oh, that's right.
His son's 6-shooter. Let's not forget his son was killed violently in a hail of bullets, which is what led this unstable man into a life of vigilantism.
He also has a raft.
Amen.
This is $1. You need to spend $1 and buy this.
I'm actually going to buy that.
All right.
Since
One
you mentioned
happy
it.
customer.
But yes, thanks for checking out my segment. Hope you'll check out some of these books. Find me on Twitter at Bear Surprise so we can argue about Man of Steel.
And follow the store on Twitter at SoCal Comics.
SoCal Comics. Hit us up.
Facebook, Yelp, do whatever you can.
Or come on by in beautiful San Diego, California. Buy some books. Jamie's great. Matt is not so much.
Aw.
Just kidding. I love you.
That's great.
Thanks for having me on, Danny.
Yes. We will see you guys next week. I might see you next week. You never know.
You want to use the hashtag #RawActive to decide if I'll be back next week or not. Thanks for listening, guys. Let's see you next week.
Sorry, we're going with the Great Khali next week.
No!